สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome back to Bim's Kitchen. Today menu we're gonna make sourdough Demi baguette, and this is a dough. This dough I make two things in the same time. I make Demi baguette and I make sourdough loaf as well. So in the bucket I have 440 grams of sourdough starter, and I add some of whole wheat flour because I like the texture and smell of the whole wheat in my bread. All the ingredients I'm gonna write it down for you so you can follow my recipe. This is 65% hydration, quite stiff dough, but it's very nice and beautiful crumb. After mix the whole wheat and the starter and water together, now I add 2000 grams of my very high protein content flour. This one I use TFM, and then I put 44 grams of salt on top, and I use my finger to mix the salt and flour together before they mix together with the wet ingredient. Now this process just to make sure all the wet ingredient and dry ingredient mix together well with your hand, and then later on we're gonna go to different style of mixing during bulk fermentation. Okay, we're gonna leave for 1 hour. First mix, we're gonna use the Rubaud method. First we're gonna stretch it out first so the dough will relax for 1 hour. I'm gonna keep doing this method for some time. Let's say about 10 minutes. It's quite stiff because this one is I make two dough in the same time. This is gonna be my little baguette, and also it's gonna be half of it is gonna be bread loaf. This is the second mix after 1 hour resting. After I see the dough is a little bit stiff, I'm gonna use slab and fold method. I'm doing this about 10 times. Then I form the dough into the bowl and rest about 30 minutes. This is the third mix after we rest the dough. So keep mixing. Again, I'm using Rubaud method for this one. After resting the dough, this time I'm gonna use coil fold. But before I doing that, I do stretch and fold first to make sure all the side of the container is come together nicely. Keep doing that around the bowl until the dough is formed into one big batch. Now after we form the bowl, I'm gonna use coin fold like I told you. So this one quite stiff dough, 65% hydration, quite stiff dough, and very difficult to work with, especially with the high protein contents like what I have. So I'm fighting with my dough. Now this is the last coin fold I make. as I can see that the dough is not smooth yet, so I perform another stretching, which is this time I use coin flour. And then now I checking my dough. I can have window pane test pass, and then I am gonna rest the dough for proof, and then I'm gonna shape later. This is the dough after fully proof. I can see the little bubble pop up there. I use my finger to poking the bubble. And now we're gonna go and shape the dough. This is going to be fun. Now, as I told you, this is a big batch of dough. I make half baguette, and the other half I make normal sourdough loaf. So I have 2 sourdough loaf from this one, and half of the dough I'm gonna make baguette, Demi baguette. So I use bench scraper to separate the dough into 2 parts. One part gonna be my sourdough loaf, and half of them gonna be my Demi baguette. Okay. Now this is the half of the dough. I'm cut into 200-gram bowl, and then we're gonna shape our Demi baguette. Now I'm gonna continue to shaping the bowl until I finish all the dough on my container. And after I form the bowl, I rest the dough about 15 to 30 minutes. So this way the dough kind of relax a little bit before we shaping the Demi baguette. Now I'm gonna make this video a little bit slow for you to see how I shape my little Demi baguette. I use my fingertip to flatten the dough out. On the top is sticky part. So you fold both sides in, and then fold on the top in, fold both sides, and then keep doing that until the end of the dough, and close the seam. So you have a baguette shape, little short baguette shape. So make sure you close the seam nicely, so when you bake or when you shape longer, they are not split apart. So always make sure that the end is pointing, and then you use both two hand to roll it out and make sure the end is pointing. So you have a little beautiful Demi baguette like that before you raising the dough. So always check you have nice shape. So this one is like similar to banh mi. And then keep doing that until you finish all the dough. Now I'm not gonna say anything, so you can see it all little baguette shape. To prove this little Demi baguette, I use the baguette couch. I don't know what it's called, couch. To make sure the baguette is stay in nice form. You can use the baguette tray like aluminum tray, but I don't like the hole on the bottom, so I use the couch. So it make nice shape, and also I can make a bigger or smaller according to the dough that I have. So then you cover the dough with another towel after you finish or nice layer on the couch, and then you're gonna let it proof until the dough is going double. And then to flip the dough into the baking tray, I use the wooden board. This wooden board is very easy to flip all the dough, and also it doesn't squeeze all the dough. So if you don't have one, you can use another cardboard or something if it's hard enough, or another baking tray also can do. So just let it flip to another baking tray with parchment paper, and make sure you lay it out nice. Bear in mind you're gonna let them rise again. They're gonna rise again when they are baking, so make sure you give some room. Now before we baking, we need to score. So all you need to do is you need to score 2 or 3 overlap. I'm not make it quite good, so I should be more overlap and go with one sharpening quick score. I preheat my oven to 230 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. I'm gonna bake 2 trays in the same time. And during baking, I add some tray of water to create steam. And this is what we get. Beautiful baguette. And very nice and soft, so it's easy to make a sandwich. So I hope you enjoyed it and making yummy sandwich for your family. Now I'm gonna cut it open with the knife so you can see the crumb. This is nice and open crumb for sourdough baguette. This is nice. And I'm gonna cut the long side so you can see how the crumb look like. Very nice and soft, very good for sandwich. If you're looking for some quick bread to make sandwich for your family, this one is so good. So I'm cutting by the side so you can see nice, beautiful crumb. That is the crumb. I hope you enjoy my video, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you for my next creation with my sourdough bread. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ